everyone, welcome to this introduction to JavaScript. JavaScript allows us to make web pages interactive. And today we're just going to look at an example of that, okay? What we're going to do is click a button, and when we click the button, the color of this text is going to go blue, okay? It's a crazy little idea. All right, so I've got my content in the body of my web page. This is my HTML. We've got the H1 tag here, and we've got the button here. Okay, so this is what these two things are here. We've also got some CSS, which is making anything H1 color red. Okay, so this H1 is red. Now then, what I want to do when I click the button, I want to do something. Okay, so when I click the button, I want to do something. Now what I need to do is to define this thing here, and that's where I'm going to go into JavaScript. Okay, so let's define the do something task. Whoops. Okay. So when we define a task, this is really a task. Let's change that word to task instead of do something, just to make it a bit simpler. When we define the task, we need these curly brackets. So make sure you've got two curly brackets there, and everything about the task is inside those two curly brackets. Okay. Now what we're going to do is change the color of this H1 tag. But how can JavaScript communicate with this H1 tag? We need to find it in the body of the web page. Well, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to give this H1 tag an ID. Let's call it welcome. So this H1 tag has an ID, which is, I've called it welcome. Doesn't matter what you call it. I could call it Jack. It doesn't matter what you call it. I'm just going to call it welcome. Now that I've given it an ID, JavaScript can communicate with it. Okay, so what we're going to do is document dot query selector welcome. Now let me explain this little bit of code. All it's saying is, in the web page, please find an element which has an ID of welcome. Okay, so JavaScript, when we run this code here, JavaScript goes into the body and it says, okay, I'm looking for welcome. Oh, here it is. We found it. Brilliant. So now what we're going to do is change the style, which is the color. Whoa, that's a nice bit of JavaScript. Find the thing called welcome, which is this one here, and set its color to be blue. Ooh. Now, if you're new to JavaScript, you will become very familiar with this kind of thing quite quickly. Just need to practice, play with some ideas, and you'll figure it out. So be patient, okay? Now, let's see if this works. I'm going to save my page, Command S. I'm going to go to my browser, and I'm going to refresh. Did it work? Let's click the button. Oh, it didn't work. It didn't work. So something's wrong. Now, let me show you a little trick. If you're writing JavaScript and it doesn't work, what you can do is bring up the context menu and go to Inspect. Go to the console. Where is the console? Let's see if we can find it. There it is, the console. Oh, we've got an error. Okay. Now, I understand this error only because I am experienced with JavaScript. Okay, if I wasn't experienced, maybe I have to go and do some research on the internet. Cannot read properties of null. Whoa, nasty. But let me tell you what the problem is. document.query selector, go and find something in the body of the web page which has an ID of welcome. Actually, to determine that it's an ID, we need to put the hashtag in. Okay? Coding is so nasty. So go and find, in the document, go and find something with an ID of welcome and set its color to be blue. That's what that line of code is doing. So again, let's save the page, Command S, and refresh the browser. Is it going to work this time? Yes, it works. Okay. Now what I'm going to do before we finish this video, I'm going to make another button. Let's rename this again, guys. This task is to change the color to blue. So let's call this task here change to blue. This is the change to blue task. So down here, let's just change that. Change to blue. Now I'm going to make another one. Change to red. So when I click the next button, this one here, I'm going to call a function change to red. So let's design that function. I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to call it change to red and go and find the thing in the web page with an ID of welcome and set its color to be red. Let's try that. Whoa. So now we've got two buttons. We've got one H1 tag with an ID of welcome. And we've got two functions here, which are doing something when we click these two buttons. Let's see if it works. Command S to save and refresh. Yep, we've got our buttons. Let's click the first one. Yay, change to blue, change to blue, change to blue. Let's change to red. Yes, it worked. Okay. Now instead of having click me, I'm gonna change that to red. Oh, that's blue, isn't it? Change to blue. Change to red. Save that. Refresh. Yay! Blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. So have a go. See if you can get that going.